one of my earlier bosses has taught me is that the way you deal with your team is the same way you expect your boss to be deal with you. I think the way I communicate with my team is very clear, right? In a very encouraging way, because you are as good as your team. So at end of the day, that is going to be important. This new generation has a completely different way of, looking at the things. I have never seen worried about speaking up. They will speak up. So the more they get involved into the system, I think we will also get better inputs in terms of how do we strengthen our systems. The threat in pharmaceutical industry is in terms of how are we interpreting the data. AI cannot take decisions. It is very clear that the human intervention is going to be significant, important in terms of interpretation of the data. If you rely completely on artificial intelligence, it is going to be difficult in terms of justifying your decisions at some point of time.
Welcome to the podcast. So today we have Mr. Pravin Kulkarni. He's the Vice President at Light Pharma. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Nandini.
So, sir, can we start with your journey? Can you please walk us through it, and maybe you can even highlight on some of the people who have impacted throughout your journey?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's a privilege to be a part of this forum. The journey of last 25 years has been very exciting, with lot of challenges, lot of good things, lot of things to learn from. But it is very exciting, and it is still continuing. If I had to, cover my journey in three phases. The first phase of it, of me being a doer, working on shop floors, running in the microbiology labs, the chemistry labs, going on the shop floor to collect the environment monitoring plates. So I started from there. By qualification, by education, I'm a microbiologist, and my journey started being a microbiology lab. I happened to also work in the QC labs, the quality assurance part of it. So it was starting from the shop floor, getting into a manager, department head kind of a role, and last almost 10 years on a leadership level where decision making is going to be important. But over a period of last 25 years, what I felt is very important is that how you connect with people, how you collaborate, how you make sure that together, how we can impact the outcomes in pharmaceuticals, and that is the most important thing. When I started my journey, it was never destined that being a microbiologist, I should only start with pharmaceutical. It just happened so that I started in pharmaceutical. But now I realize after 25 years that I chose the right profession. I'll tell you one quick story,
Sure,
which is
absolutely.
very, which impacted me a lot. It's my personal story about my father. So he's no more, but he was suffering from cancer. He got recovered because medicines were available. During COVID period, he got COVID positive, and he fought it out. There was a medicine available, so he came out of it. But then he got infected with that black fungus mucormycosis. There was no medicine available, and the mucormycosis, which has happened because of contamination in the oxygen line, which was told to us, you know, it profoundly impacts me that how the behavior on shop floor can impact on the patient through my personal journey. So at any point of time when I'm working, it is always that patient safety is in my mind, and I always encourage that to happen. So journey has been exciting. Lots of challenges from a regulatory scenario. Lots of things I have seen that the culture of the organization is changing. The way we were looking at the things 10 years, 15 years back, and now the way we are looking at is completely different. And we have a long way to go. But it is exciting. It is still continuing.
That's really nice, sir.
Sure.
Sir, can you please tell us a little about Light Pharma and
Sure.
also your role, which
Yeah.
seems to be very unique in the organization?
Sure. So recently I got transitioned to Light Pharma. Light Pharma is a technology and consulting firm based at US, led by Dr. G.K. Raju, who is a profound scientist. He has worked very closely with US FDA on several initiatives, including the 21st Century Initiative. So my role is I continue to work for Sun Pharma on their quality sustainability and quality culture initiatives. It is the role which is envisioned by Ms. Reem Malki, the Chief Quality Officer of Sun Pharma. And in this role, what we are looking at that how in next 3 years the journey of quality sustainability can be achieved. And I think Sun Pharma is an organization talking about quality culture upfront, right? It's a very significant step that this is going to be very important over a period of next 3 to 5 years, that how we strengthen the culture. So I work specifically as of now with Sun Pharma projects across various sites in terms of helping them on strengthening the quality culture.
That's really nice, sir. So you have more than 25 years of experience. What does quality culture actually look like on a day-to-day operative level?
So, quality culture is a topic uh, which has been discussed from years together.
Yes.
But for me, quality culture, if I have to define, in a very clear way, is that are we able to do the right thing every time, and are the people on shop floor are able to do this thing on a regular basis without any hesitation. If people from the shop floor who are very close to the quality of a product are able to do the right thing every time, are able to do the right thing in the easiest way, I think that's the quality culture for me, right? People on the shop floor are able to stop the line, take decisions, make sure that the quality is paramount important for them. I think that's the foundation of having a strong quality culture.
How do you manage that team, sir? How do you make them focused on building such kind of a culture?
Right. I mean, from last several years, I was privileged to handle multiple teams and 500, 700 employees as a part of my team. The basic mantra, right, which one of my earlier bosses, uh, uh, Mr. Rajesh Shirsagar, who works for Microlabs, has taught me is that the way you deal with your team is the same way you expect your boss to be deal with you, right? So I think the way I communicate with my team is very clear, right? In a very encouraging way, because you are as good as your team, right?
Absolutely.
So at end of the day, that is going to be important. And I have learned a lot of from being a quality. I think the biggest lesson which I got in last 10, 15 years is that the quality leader has to be a watchdog for sure, but beyond that, the quality leader has to be a facilitator. So the moment you get into a facilitation mode and helping the teams across, automatically it impacts your teams who are working with you. And the more positive interaction, the more feedback based interaction you have, I think it's going to be a good thing from team perspective as well. How do you take care of their growth path? How you ensure that the teams are continuously learning is also very important in terms of developing that bond between you and your team.
Okay. So moving more into the quality culture,
Right.
do you think that quality culture can truly be designed from leadership, or do you feel that it can be emerged organically?
Well, very difficult question. It's a both way, right? Uh, it is not that organizations do not have quality culture. Every company who is growing, who is thriving, do have the quality culture. The leadership will give the uh, guidance in terms of how the journey will unfold. What are the priorities for the organization over a period of next 3 to 5 years? What are the challenges which organization is seeing from a culture point of view? Top down approach is definitely going to be important, because that is going to set the tone. The leaders are going to set the tone for strengthening the quality culture. There is no second thought on it. The way they exhibit the behavior, the way they take decisions, the way they present themselves to the shop floor, the way they interact with the shop floor, right, the way they communicate with shop floor is significantly important. How the shop floor or the people working down the line, how they develop the ownership part of it, I think that is going to be a complementary to whatever leadership is trying to do. So it's a both way, but the tone needs to be set by the top.
So, is there any demarcation between a real culture from a compliance theater?
It's a complementary thing, right?
Okay.
Right. You will definitely have a good compliance if you have a good culture,
Oh, well said.
right? So it is an enabler to the compliance. When we see compliance, right? I mean, it is not only complying to what regulatory agencies are asking and how well we, get through with the audits. It's beyond that, right? How we take our decisions, how that interaction happens, how are we collaborating with each other, how are we focusing on right first time related aspects, how we are preventing things to happen, what kind of risk mitigation we are doing on day to day basis, right? So there are lots of things involved in this whole process.
So, sir, do you think that there is a weak and a strong culture that is happening around?
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Organizations which are thriving definitely have a strong culture where collaboration is there. I have seen organizations where speak up is very very important for them. Transparency is very very important for them. How the teams work with each other is very important. Decision making is a very set kind of a process. People don't fear in taking decisions. People don't fear in giving a bad news. People don't fear in terms of talking about challenges and also working on it. And in terms of weak culture, there is always a blame game. There is always people working in silos, right? There is a fear factor.
Absolutely.
So definitely there are examples of strong and weak culture, which I learned. It was a very interesting journey at Harvard in terms of learning organization culture. So yes, there is a strong and weak culture across industries, and we need to get into strengthening the quality culture across the industry.
More getting into quality and getting into the traditional GMP practices. How do you think that can be strengthened?
So doing your basics right is not going to change, right? The more you make systems easy, doing right thing has to be the easiest thing to do, right?
That is true.
So the moment the people who are doers or executors feel that this is the easiest thing, this is possible, there is no complication about it, then the compliance and then day-to-day activities become very very clear, and these are not going to create any complications from a compliance or any other point of view.
But, sir, isn't that path a little hard?
It is a hard path, but that hard path is chosen by us only. I think industry would agree to this perspective that we only have made our systems complicated because of whatever we are taught. It's a time, right time to ensure that we undo the things and make systems more user friendly and very simple.
Okay. So you've worked very closely with global regulators like FDA.
Right.
What are your key learnings from these
So I
interactions?
have been, I work with USFDA. I've been there at their Washington DC office. Right. I mean, whatever interaction I had over a period of all these years is that what they expect, they trust you, right? They want you to do your basic things right, and beyond that, audit is just an indicative process. They come here for 7 days, for 15 days, and whatever they see is an interpretation of it. Beyond that, I think what I have learned from my experience over a period of time is that as long as you are able to demonstrate that whatever you are doing is in line with the requirement, I think the buck stops there. If your basics are right, and I'm reinforcing on this thing, that if your basics are right, your intention is right, you are able to confidently exhibit that during the audit process, they will accept it. I mean, I have not seen any regulatory agency being very harsh to a truth which is being spoken. Or, I mean, there are several regulatory agencies, several auditors who I have seen that they give your suggestions, they give some recommendations, and as long as you're meeting them, they will be fine with it. So keep your basics right, have that confidence, take the ownership. I mean, I have seen that interactions happen during the audit that sometimes that ownership is missing. We look at each other in terms of who will give the answer. That creates a doubt from regulatory agencies' point of view. The more you are confident, the more you are taking ownership. I'm very sure that there should not be any challenge as such. And we are learning. I mean, whatever way we were looking at the compliance part of it 15 years back, 10 years back, I think the expectations are changed and they are going to keep on changing over a period
Absolutely.
of the next 5 to 10 years also. So we will have to continue evolve, continue learn on this process.
So you've had a very excellent global exposure, platforms like Harvard.
Right.
So what are the key leadership or strategic insights that you bring into the current platform?
Harvard journey was very interesting, although it was for a short course at Harvard. On the campus, or the moment you go to campus, it's a different energy altogether. And we had a batch of 30 students a year and a half back, where there was deputy commissioner of police from Los Angeles, CEOs of some different companies. There were participants from 12 countries, at a very senior level. So the discussion which we started with, and which is really important for me to take this culture topic ahead, is that why are we investing in this? What is the need that we need to invest in culture? So three things emerge very clearly. The first is that the strong culture will mitigate risks, right?
Yes.
Any risk, we had that COVID scenario. Every pharma company was working because they had a very strong foundation of taking care of each other, supporting each other. Right now, we are going to get this AI challenge over a period of next 2 to 5 years.
Yes.
So the more foundational, the more we invest in culture, I think we'll be able to mitigate the risk which are coming in future. It creates value, right? The strong culture will definitely have a better value for the organization, better value for the teams going forward. And the third thing is that we'll be able to adopt faster, right? The strong foundation of culture will make sure that whatever challenges are coming, we'll be able to adopt faster to these things. The discussion is that how leaders can influence the quality culture. I mean,
Yes.
whatever time I spent on the campus, the discussion was that leaders will determine how this thing is going to unfold over a period of next 10 years. The ownership which is going to be taken by the teams will be driven by leaders. The way they are going to behave, the way they are going to ask the questions, the way they are going to take decisions, I think it is going to impact to the people who matter. So I mean, some of the reflections, but it was very interesting. We still are in touch. Some of the some of the participants, we still are in touch, sharing knowledge with each other, and I think it is never ending. I had a very good experience at Harvard.
So, having a little more on the same topic, how much do you think leaders such as you and in the coming generation should actually engage effectively and manage whatever new innovation is coming on farm?
Very important. I mean, as leaders, we'll have to spend time in seeing that what is happening. I'm fortunate to be involved with a couple of AI based projects, but the world is changing. The knowledge, if I say go out and say that I have 25 years of experience, in couple of years, that 25 of year experience, when AI is coming, the value of it is going to be very negligible, right? The knowledge part of it, whatever I have learned, the technical aspect part of it, because it's going to be readily available. You ask anything to AI, the knowledge is going to come. The change which is going to happen in the industry is that how you take decisions, how you interpret data, how you will deal with the data, what are the checks and balances to utilize the data. The role of an executor, maybe execution may get minimized, but the leaders who are going to interpret the data and take decision is going to be significant important. So how we learn in this direction is going to define the next set of leadership.
So, a little bit more about the AI aspect. How do you think the introduction of AI in the pharmaceutical industry is going to impact in a positive, and what all threats do you actually foresee? Or probably something which you've already started seeing?
Yeah, AI is definitely going to help, no doubt about it. AI is going to come in next to, it is very close than what we think. It's going to come in next 2 to 5 years for sure. As I mentioned, that it is going to impact on the doer aspects, the reviewer aspect, the data processing aspects of that part of it. We'll be able to take better decisions. We'll be able to, mitigate more risks, and eventually it is going to help to the patients for sure. So I have no doubts that how AI is going to impact. It is going to impact very positively on the patient safety on various projects which are ongoing in the industry. But we have a long way to go, right? I am not sure if pharma industry has reacted to this situation or whatever is going to unfold the way other industries have started working on. Maybe we are at a beginning stage, so maybe we are at a reactive stage. Then we will go to a proactive, then predictive, and then preventive kind of a scenario. So we are at a very initial stage. We have a long way to go. Our processes, our systems needs to be upgraded, right? There are a lot of things which are coming up. But the threat in pharmaceutical industry is in terms of how are we interpreting the data.
Yes.
AI cannot take decisions, right? And I'm working on a couple of projects. It is very clear that the human intervention is going to be significant, important in terms of interpretation of a data. If you rely on completely on artificial intelligence, it is going to be difficult in terms of justifying your decisions at some point of time. So human oversight is going to be of paramount important in terms of taking decisions which are coming from AI based systems. So there needs to be checks and balances. There needs to be systems which needs to be in place so that the better decision can be taken. But AI is not going to replace
Replace.
humans to an extent where review of data and decision making is going to be important.
But sir, with the emergence of AI happening at a very rapid state, what changes do you see in the quality culture? Do you think that can be hampered to a certain extent, or do you think that the day-to-day activities or operations will go at a faster rate?
No, of course. I mean, today there are a lot of work in the doer space, like you need to write your batch records, right? You need to write your analytical data sheets. You need to write your investigations and everything else. So AI is definitely going to have impact on this doer related aspects, because whatever is repetitive, AI will be able to take care of it very effectively, right? So while this is possible, I mean, this definitely is going to impact on that part of it. The more critical part will happen that how are we going to use this technology, right? What is that we are looking at? Are we looking at faster batch disposition? Are we looking at avoiding recurring deviations? Are we looking at avoiding failures? Are we looking at very positive, strong audit outcomes? Are we looking at better patient safety? I think that is how the journey is going to unfold. That what is the outcome you are looking at, right? If you're looking at AI for cost saving, it may give you a cost saving, but then the larger topic in pharmaceutical than other industries, that how are we going to impact the patient safety?
Okay. Delving more into the quality culture, what do you think is one of the most important thing that many pharmaceutical companies misunderstand about the quality culture?
Missing, sorry, which?
They misunderstand about the quality culture.
I think we talk a lot about speak up. Every organization talk a lot about speak up, but that speak up is how deep it is percolated to the shop floor is something needs to be evaluated. If employees are able to speak up about the challenges which they are facing on day-to-day basis, if there is a mechanism by which we can reach out to employees in terms of understanding what's happening over there, I think it is going to be hugely beneficial. The other part of it, that from a quality culture point of view, is that how better we are collaborating with each other. Right? Every organization has a capability. The more the teams are going to collaborate with each other, I think it's going to have lots of benefits. Simplification, I touch based on the decision making on a day-to-day basis. What is the trigger for decision making, right? Is the trigger coming out of fear? Is the trigger coming out of scientific background? Is the trigger coming out of a deep dive assessment? What is it, right? A very interesting scenario unfolds in the pharmaceutical industry. I think many of my colleagues would also agree to this part. is that, and not everywhere, but whatever I have seen over a period of last several years of my journey, that we have seen a phenomenon that the batch release, most of the batch release, more than 50%, 60% of the batch releases would happen at the last week of the month, right? So it also indicates that how we are planning to take our decisions. So when you do at the in a last week, how that is going to influence your decision making, how you are that's going to influence your deep dive assessment. So yes, I think this is very important from a quality culture point of view, that we collaborate with each other, we take a right decision. The speak up platform is available for employees. We simplify the things. Data assurance is one threat which always looms, always stares at us. We have made a huge progress, but I think there is still a long way to go in terms of making sure that data assurance becomes the way of life on a day-to-day basis. And I'm very sure that artificial intelligence will add a lot of value in this aspect.
Clubbing the quality culture, artificial intelligence, globally speaking, in the current scenario, how do you compare India with other top three global countries, or rather to say the top three pharmaceutical hubs that are happening?
We are far away. I mean, I just did some assessment in terms of where Indian companies are there from, the quality culture, the AI integration on several other
Yes.
aspects. I think we have a long way to go, but there are companies like Sun, DRL, Zipla. I think they're making inroads, right? We are not that far away, but from an industry point of view, based at India, we still have a long way to go. I mean, let's say how many plants we have in India and how many plants have started adopting to AI, or talking very boldly or very strategically deep down about quality culture. They are going to be complementary to each other, right? If you have a great AI systems, but then your quality culture
True.
is not there, it's not going to help, and vice versa, right? So next 5 years are going to be very interesting in terms of how the things will unfold. But yeah, we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go.
Okay. Slight significance on the quality sustainability. What does it look like truly in practice?
Quality sustainability, I think I'll take a cue from quality management maturity model, which all of the organizations are talking, across the industry, right? I'm very sure the if we are able to adopt to the five practice areas of quality management maturity, the sustainability part of it is going to be inbuilt, right? I mean, a lot of organizations have started on this journey in terms of how do we ensure employee engagement and empowerment, how we how the leadership commitment is there, how we do business continuity, right? How are the decisions taken. So there are five practice areas where how do we advance a pharmaceutical quality system, how we can make the pharmaceutical quality system strengthened. So these five areas are definitely going to ensure that we remain, the quality sustainability is achieved. There has to be a very structured kind of effort in terms of achieving each one of working on each one of the practice area which is there in quality management maturity. And trust me, quality management maturity is not only for US FDA plants. The quality management maturity approach, the concept is going to develop across regulatory markets, including the Indian industries. So the expectation is very clear that you create a path, right? You have a very structured approach looking into gap assessments, make sure that you address those gaps, and then get into a sustainability mode. But for that, you need to define a baseline in terms of the five practice areas which I have mentioned. My take on this is that this is going to be an enabler. Quality management maturity across industry is going to be an enabler for sustainable quality and compliance. And I'm very sure that it is going to impact on the availability of medicine and, of course, the quality of medicine as well.
Sir, having such rich experience and being one of the top leaders in your domain, what advice or suggestions would you give for the current and future generation who would probably want to take a very similar path?
Do you think that the generation which is there currently, the Gen Z, what we call,
Yeah.
will they take any advice? I don't think so. Okay. My daughter, for that example, doesn't take my advice. I mean, she listens to me, but she may not necessarily take it.
No,
Okay. I mean, jokes are
probably she might listen to somebody else. That
possible.
happens in the family, right?
Possible. That also possible. I take your point. But I think the advice to, I mean, my recommendation to this new generation is that they'll have to go deep down to understand, the science part of it, because this generation has grown up on lots of internet stuff, lots
Yes.
of stuff on a digital space, but the shop floor looks different, right? So they definitely have to spend lot of time on shop floor in terms of understanding how these things in GMP work, how these things in quality management system work from a pharmaceutical point of view. So I think the more they spend time on the shop floor, they'll be able to appreciate, understand the science, understand the regulatory expectation in a better way. And it is going to be useful for us because this new generation has a completely different way of looking at the things. I have never seen worried about speaking up. They will speak up.
Yes.
So the more they get involved into the system, I think we will also get better inputs in terms of how do we strengthen our systems.
That's very nice. And somewhere, do you feel that certain aspects of their journey, they have it easy, and that is why they will have to put in more hard work when it comes to real work?
They'll have to put a lot of hard work for sure, but I mean, it is about your mindset and attitude. The way they look at the things, right, is completely different than what I must have looked over a period of last 25 years. They are restless, they are eager to do something on an immediate basis, so they'll be more engaged, right?
Absolutely.
So generation has changed, but from pharmaceutical point of view, the fundamentals of science, fundamentals of good manufacturing practices are going to remain. I mean, they're going to evolve, but the fundamentals are going to remain pretty much same. So they will have to really engage with this and then put up on a thought of a Gen Z in terms of how can we do the things in a better way.
Okay. So, sir, we will have a small rapid fire round.
Sure.
So, is quality culture measurable? What metrics matters the most?
It is measurable. For sure, we can measure it, and the metrics related to right first time, the metrics related to how many decisions are impacting on the patient safety part of it, uh, how your speak up is encouraged, or how many people are talking about it. So there are various aspects we can measure, but it is measurable for sure. And I think right first time is very significant measure of it. Quality culture is not only about only about quality, it's about business as well,
Absolutely.
right? The more we are able to meet the demand, commitment, supply, and the more we are able to meet the, every organization will have their key performance indicators or key quality performing indicators. The more we are able to meet it, I think it is really measurable.
Nice. Moving on, one belief every quality culture team must have.
One belief:
Yes.
quality is everybody's responsibility, right? Across functions. And I think it is coming up. I mean, the more I interact with people on the shop floor, it is coming up. We just need to guide them, we just need to give them a direction that it is everybody's responsibility.
Nice. One audit lesson that stayed with you.
Audit lesson stayed with me is that be transparent. There will be challenges, there will be always issues. The more you are transparent about it, I think it is highly appreciable by the regulatory agency does.
Nice. Uh, the QMM versus compliance, whether it's a conflict or whether it
It is
is.
complementary. It is not a conflict. It is going to be complement to each other, right? Compliance is paramount importance in terms of patient safety, and I think QMM will go beyond compliance, and also it will enable the compliance.
Nice. Fastest way to destroy quality culture.
Have that fear, right? The more fear you have, I think it is going to destroy the quality culture.
In what ways do you think the fear would be instilled?
Fear of not being able to speak up, fear of not being able to share what is right. Right. So that fear, which will be there in the minds of people working on shop floor, if it is there, I don't think there will be any quality culture in the organization. The more people speak up, I think it's going to be better for the organization.
So, one advice that you would give anybody currently in the pharma industry to look at various departments, and what do you actually envision in future, and what should we actually be prepared for?
They should prepare for artificial intelligence for sure. I think everybody who's going to come to this industry, artificial intelligence is going to be very, very important. The another aspect of it, that during this journey, the more we collaborate with each other, the more we are able to work with each other, I think it is going to be beneficial for that individual's journey also in pharmaceutical space. Science, learning about technology is going to important. Don't wait, right? For those learnings, lots of platforms are available, lots of institutes are there. So keep on this learning journey. That is going to be very significant for them.
And finally, sir, your top three takeaways from your own professional journey.
Top three takeaways from my own professional journey, I think: be a facilitator. There are many people who will talk about the challenges. There are very few people who would like to work on a solutions in a collaborative way. So be that kind of a facilitator. There is a vacancy over there in terms of facilitator. Be transparent, right? I think the more you are transparent in dealing with these things, it is going to be very, very useful. And keep learning. The moment your learning journey stops, I think it is going to impact in terms of your progress. I have been very fortunate to work with world class leaders who have always pushed me to keep learning. I mean, I just finished reading a book which was recommended by Miss Reem Malki, who is the Chief Quality Officer for Sun, Built to Last. Very interesting book.
Nice.
Okay, so technically yes, you will learn a lot of things, but then you evolve with your thought process, uh, uh, you know become more of a facilitator, become more of a collaborator. I think that's what industry needs, right? And I'm very sure these are all the foundations of a very strong quality culture, since we are talking about quality culture.
Absolutely. Sir, how can one benefit from events like Analytical Lab India?
Oh, now we are seeing this space. Lot of knowledge is available. Lots of new technologies. Somebody just made me and told Pravin there is a new technology in terms of microbiology, and looks very interesting. So it really excites that new technologies are coming, and this platform is providing an opportunity to look through it, collaborate with each other, see that what kind of things are coming up. Very, very interesting, and very impressed with the way these things are managed. Lots of appreciation for the team who is managing this. It's not easy. I'm looking into a lot of stalls over here will have more visit, but very impressive. My one recommendation I thought that I'll give it to this team is that, can we involve the academia into this process? Can we have some students coming from various colleges or various institute visit, maybe a slot available for them, and let them see that how things are unfolding, whatever they are learning in academia, how the future looks like. So I think that one recommendation, but fabulous effort, guys. Really appreciate the whole theme and the way this thing is managed.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time and
Pleasure
for being
talking to
on
you,
the show.
Nandini.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
talking to you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.